Zandile Mafe, the man accused of setting Parliament alight, will appear in court on the 11th of January on 5 charges relating to that fire in Parliament. His lawyer, Luvuyo Godla, believes his client is not the person responsible for the incident. He joins us now on the line. Thank you very much, sir, for availing yourself this morning. I'd like perhaps to start with, not sure whether it was a phone call, because you indicated after his first appearance that he raised his hand. Did you receive a phone call from Mr. Christmas or from your client? What did he say and what did he sound like?
Yes, Mr. Mafe wanted to employ my services. Of course, he didn't have my contact details, and he then sought assistance in order to get hold of myself. That's how I responded to him.
And the reason you availed yourself for this case on a pro bono basis?
I've been explaining that we are required by our law society that at least within a period of a year you must have pro bono matters. It's either you pick up yourself or maybe the law society would refer clients to yourself. And moreover, it's a poor person, and I come from a humble background as well. So I identify with him in many respects. Hence, I felt that I need to do it pro bono. And looking at him, I realized as well that he is not a person who can afford my services. Hence, pro bono.
The NPA's Eric Ndabazalila stating outside court after his first appearance that your client has a case for him to answer, saying he faces charges of stealing and theft, 2 counts of arson. He was found in possession of explosives, and destruction of essential infrastructure is another charge. You believe different?
Yeah, this is very incorrect. My client, someone residing in Kailicha area, would not, even if he had an intention to commit a crime of housebreaking and theft, would not travel all the way from Kailicha, leaving all other places with valuable items, and go to Parliament, accessing Parliament, a heavily secured place, only to remove a ream of papers. It's so irreconcilable. If he had the intention to commit crime, you could have went to places where he would get bread, fish, clothing items, not going to remove documents of Parliament, to which he did not even have an insight.
I'm not sure how this process works, so please do bear with my very simple thinking. In terms of the video footage that is said to be in existence showing that there is somebody in Parliament, firstly, have you seen it? You'd made note outside the steps of the Cape Town Magistrates Court that you hadn't even seen the charge sheet on his first appearance. Have you since seen it?
Even at this very same moment, I have not yet been placed in possession of the copy of the charge sheet. I would understand, of course, to do that. They told the court that they need more time in order to formulate their mind as to what other more charges they needed to press against Mr. Mafe. But at that stage, the charge sheet was incomplete. I will assume even at this stage is still incomplete. The video footage as well, we have requested, we understand that they might not place us in possession of video footage at this stage, because we can only be furnished with same when we request further particulars for purposes of a trial. Now it's still a bail application stage. But however, it seems as if there is no one who have seen this video footage, and I even doubt its existence.
And that leads to my next question, that you have not seen the charge sheet to date. Is that unusual?
It is very unusual when one makes a first appearance in court. A person is informed of the charges so that one can start to make adequate preparation for his defense or her defense. But up until this stage, we do not have that. And that literally means Mr. Mafe made his first appearance without knowing what are the charges against him. Remember, it's not sufficient to say one must be brought before court within 48 hours. One must also be brought before court within 48 hours, knowing and be informed of the charges he or she is facing. But
Mr.
up
Godla,
until
I
now,
do beg your pardon, please desperately beg your pardon to just stick around with us for a few moments. We just need to go here. We're coming back with you. Please just do bear with us. Let's continue our conversation with Luvuyo Godla. He is the legal representative for Mr. Zandile Mafe, who is accused of setting Parliament alight. Before we went to the break, you were finishing your thought on someone needing to appear before court within 48 hours and having seen at least what it is that they're charged with.
That's correct, Tutu. That's correct.
Please, can you expand for us? Or is that have you landed the point?
Yeah, I think I am done because okay. I said these are constitutional provisions that one should not only be brought before court within 48 hours. A person must be informed of what he or she is confronted with. Not only to say you bring, because after all, you can take everyone, bring to court within 48 hours, and after that, you walk away without telling the person what are you confronted with, meaning that that person won't be able to adequately prepare for his or her defense.
Will your client...
So for now, we don't know why, we don't know what we are facing. Mr. Mafe does not know what he is confronted with. We are still waiting for the state to tell us. And the worst part, to which is also very shocking and is pathetic, when someone is arrested, more especially for charges such as this one, banning the national key point, such as Parliament, you immediately profile a person. And it does not take even 5 minutes to profile a person. Maybe we can say you will take 5 minutes traveling from crime scene to the police station. But now technology is advanced. You take the person to profile, you use a computer. It's very shocking, even up until today. The state claims that we still need to profile Mr. Mafe. And the incident occurred on Sunday. In the morning, allegedly in the morning. The whole day, the night, the Monday, the Tuesday, and today is Thursday. They still say they want to profile Mr. Mafe. And traveling from the crime scene to where Mr. Mafe is residing, which is Kailicha, is less than 30 minutes. But you can imagine how many days they still need to profile Mr. Mafe. Very shocking.
It makes me wonder then, and maybe you can help us from the work that you do. I guess, with you representing him, there are other people who use legal aid, for instance, and who cannot afford a lawyer. What then happens to these people? No,
immediately after arrest, whether you are represented by legal aid or you have your private attorney, immediately after the arrest, in fact, on the arrest, at that time of the arrest, you are entitled to legal representative. And immediately at that time, the police are required to profile yourself and bring you before court within 48 hours. And you must be advised of what are the charges against yourself, irrespective of who is representing yourself. This is the constitutional right of anyone in South Africa.
You alluded to a senior counsel joining his legal team, and a name has been made mention, that of Mr. Dalimpofu. Is there anything you can tell us with regards to that?
I must still confirm with him, as I've already indicated, that I will need many hands. I will need people with different expertise. I will be using a counsel who will be assisting us in terms of crime scene, in terms of intelligence, security, and so forth. But I must yet confirm with Advocate Mbofu his availability. Then I will advise you as soon as he comes back to me. Then I will confirm.
As we're having this conversation, we're showing visuals of Mr. Mafe, who is appearing very dazed and confused. What do we know about his mental state, and what do we know about him or his health at the moment?
To everyone who is facing criminal charges will never be calm and comfortable and be 100% stable. One would definitely panic, but it will depend on an individual. Mr. Mafe as well, I believe, falls under that category. When I first went to him downstairs in cells, holding cells, I advised him about the availability of the media and the number that might be in court. As well, I did not know, even though I'm an attorney, I did not know that the court will be packed up to full capacity. But I advised him, he was comfortable, and we further discussed the issue of the applications brought by members of the public. There were 14 applications then from members of the media to come and take pictures of my client, which I took it to him. He advised me that, look, because already I know that my pictures are all over. They took my pictures and I've not seen them. However, I've been advised of that. So I don't think it's a train smash. They can come, they can do whatever they want. I don't want to deny them. We discussed that further in magistrate chambers with the opponent, with the state. Then I went down again. I advised him that, okay, look, the court as well, that order will be granted because we are not opposing. You don't have a problem. I called around as well to get a second opinion, which we had to take what Mr. Mafe told us. But when he came up, obvious, because it was too much of members of the media, then he looked a little bit shocked and he did not know which direction to face. Ordinarily, you would understand in court, when you come up, there will be members of the public sitting at the gallery at the back. You will see prosecution. One would assume which side to face. But in other incidents, you would get accused people taking a seat before ordered by the court to do so, and they would be asked to stand until the court directs. So I believe it was that case with respect to him. But if there was any other issue in relation to his mental state, well, it will be something that might transpire at a later stage. But for now, there is nothing unbecoming to me, looking at the surrounding circumstances when he made his first appearance.
Very quickly for us, how will your client be pleading?
Not guilty, not guilty. I can tell you, no one living in Khayelitsha would simply wake up and have an interest of going to Parliament, not removing any valuable things, only taking a ream of papers, and conveniently know when the police officers will not be at the gate, and knowing that at this particular minute there won't be any parliamentary security services. At that particular moment, all the cameras will be off. At that particular moment, alarm system will be deactivated, smoke detectors not working as coordinated with sprinklers. No ways. There is no ways. And knowing conveniently as well that at that particular room there will be those members of parliament that will leave their laptops behind, and he would go and remove. It's so far-fetched, so irreconcilable. He is pleading not guilty, and we know as members of the public that someone is pulling down the wool. It was pulling the wool down the face of the public. We know for sure he cannot be the person. He does not have any interest into the documents he did not even have insight into.
You say someone is pulling wool over our eyes. Who would that someone be, and what
Of
would
course,
their interest be?
our leaders must tell us, people who are working in Parliament must tell us who did that. Someone would need to be orientated to go to Parliament and be told that at this point you get sprinklers, at this point you get cameras, you deactivate them, the alarm system, you deactivate it, and at this time there won't be anyone at the gate. At this time, no security officers will be inside, and all of them will not be around, or someone looking at him further who does not even possess a phone. He does not have access to emails, to computer technology. How would he have known that members of security officers have been asked to take a leave? At least it's not busy. It's really irreconcilable. There is no way. He is pleading not guilty because he is not guilty. He's a scapegoat here. Someone must come forward or we must dig. Even if the state can prosecute, say for argument's sake, they would prosecute and he could be convicted, still we would be remaining with the elephant in the kitchen. Someone who did that, we need to know. It's not him.
Again,
not at all, it's not him.
Please pardon my ignorance. I do not know how these matters work, but I'm curious as to your doing media interviews and speaking to the media before he appears again in court or before a trial. Does that not jeopardize your case?
As long as we do not go to the merits of the case. We went to him, we requested that, remember, media, they need as well to do their work. And when I reasoned with him, he advised me that he does not have anything to hide, but obvious, I advise him that we do not go to the merits of the case. Pleading not guilty, I can tell you, it does not go to merits of the case. He's not going to plead guilty, and I can say as well confirm that he's pleading not guilty, and there is nothing going to the merits of the case in that.
Luvuyo Godla is the attorney representing Mr. Zandile Mafe, who is accused of setting Parliament on fire. Ngos Data, thank you for availing yourself this morning.